So this is a concept that I've had for a while. Something I recently was thinking about, like, would be nice, is if you have a tournament at a certain location. Let's say you have a tournament you're hosting in New York, for example. New York's up here somewhere. There it is, right above Pennsylvania. But you also had a tournament over here in Florida. Oh no. The idea is, if you have a tournament in Florida, for example, like that's where the tournament's being hosted, then people, places that are close by to Florida it'll be easier for them to get to the event because they're closer than the people above, than people across. So obviously, it makes it more complicated. But the idea one idea I have of making things easier, so that way, if everybody in the USA, for example, or everybody who competes wants to enter that event that's in Florida, for example, then a way to do that would be to have card shops. Would be a good way of doing it. A dedicated location, like having, like, let's say you have a, what do they call it, a convention center being used in Florida for an event, right? So most of these places right here, they're just one border away, basically, 1 or 2 states away from the event. It'll be easier for them to travel, like by car or by some form of transportation that's a little bit easier, like a car. You definitely wanted to make it where it'll be a car or at least public transportation to get to the event. To make things a little bit easier, you'll want to have some place that you can go up here, like let's say New York. Most places around New York can get to New York train, for example, or even by car. So you'll want to have a place there where people can play, right? Then a place where people can play in Florida, and let's say another place where people can play in, let's say, Kentucky. So you have 3 locations for one event, one specific event, right? 3 locations for one specific event, and that will help let you at least half. So we'll go from here with Minnesota, Iowa, whatnot, all this part right here, all the east, right? That's the east side, all the east side of the United States can compete because in the event, because they just got to make it to one of these 3 locations, whichever one is the closest, right? So since you have one further up to the top, which would be like New York, for example, then it'd be easier for areas up north, like Canada, for example, to be able to make it to that location, and then they'll be able to compete in the event. Now, obviously, because we have technologies, the point I'm trying to make is that we have technology to be able to connect these different locations, these different places for one event, for like one tournament. So everybody can get to compete in one tournament. So that's how you can get your numbers up there for the event. Plus have the space for players, right? And then it makes it where the amount of players that go to the event wouldn't be small because of the fact that you didn't put it in one specific location where it would be difficult for a lot of players to make it to. You want to make it easier for players to go to events, not hard, right? So if you make it easier, then that's better. I understand, business, I understand the idea of cost and whatnot, so it might seem not like a cost-effective idea to have multiple locations for one event, but you don't have to specifically have the full upfront cost up for these events yourselves. Obviously, you can pass off the cost to someone else. So the idea would be to have, like, you could have card shops because one, this brings them business, right? This brings them customers, especially if they already have a player base that comes to the card shop. It'd be nice if the players can enter an event through their local card shop, as opposed to traveling to go to an event. Traveling is fun, you get it. Being able to interact with other people in different locations is fun and all. But if you're like myself, for example, I use myself for example, who are more interested in being able to play in the events more so than the experience or the interactivity of meeting people and being in other locations. Just being able to play other players from other locations is just enough for me. Being able to make it easier that I can go to, since I'm in Philadelphia, which is in Pennsylvania, me being able to go to a local location in Pennsylvania, but be able to play against people from Florida, New York, and whatnot, Canada, it'd be nice to be able to play against them, but not necessarily travel to a location where we can all, meet up, right? Because we have technology, so I want us to use it. So one of the ideas for that, besides the location, right, the physical location, like a card shop and whatnot, having tables so we could play, but also in order to interact with players that are in a different location than you are, that's where webcam dueling will come in. That's where we'll use, computers and a network that you can link up to, and it'd be kind of cool if band was to do it, create basically their own Discord server type thing by actually using Discord itself, because Discord has limits. But if they had their own type of network where they can guarantee that these computers that connect be faster, speed right, the connectivity, they won't disconnect as often as much, as well as you'd be able to make sure that every location is able to communicate with each other. Plus, you'll make sure that computers are up to a certain quality and standard, because you know how it is with like webcam duels. Since everybody's using their own personal computer system, some people may have a better computer system than others. You know what I mean? And that lower quality computer system being used in a webcam duel can create problems, lag, other things. Then there's the fact of, you're usually at home with your own system. Now to be able to do webcam dueling at a card shop instead, right, where there's extra aspects to that. There's the fact that, you just have to come, bring your deck to the card shop, go there and be able to play using their systems. You'll have, the webcams and the headsets and the chairs and all that stuff, and then you have access to judges, right, or staff, that's what we'll call it, right, staff that can answer questions, be able to judge things, if it's a tournament, obviously, then you'll have some oversight. So you have some people who can check, can make sure no one is cheating, be able to handle technical issues in case there's something wrong with the with a system. Let's say for some reason a screen on one of the computers turns off while somebody's playing. That could create, that will obviously create a problem. But because there's people there overseeing, there's a level of trust, right? Level of accountability. So it'd be hard to, because when it comes to the normal type of webcam dueling we do, if suddenly the screen goes off or some glitch happens, there's I don't trust this. Maybe the person is cheating or something, and all this extra stuff. So this is a way to reduce that if you actually have someone who's there, whose job is to be trustworthy, right, in that regards, because it doesn't benefit them to cheat, right, or to help the person that's on the computer, right, cheat. It's not beneficial. So there's no incentive. There's no negative incentive, as they say. So level of honesty can there's integrity. The integrity of the game can be maintained with that type of system. Another factor is that there could be like an extra layer to this, where there could be a camera there that's designed to record and keep an eye on whoever is using these systems as just a backup precaution, just in case, anti-cheating system, if you want to call it that. So that can come handy, because in case you need to do like a replay, right? Replay the fact that something happened, there was a game state that needs to be overviewed or something like that, especially for judgment if somebody cheated or not. So, like I said, anti-cheating system, that could be a factor there. This is an whole idea of having like an extra camera that's recording. For webcam duels was the idea for somebody to use their cell phone to record themselves at the same time they're playing. So if something was to happen, they'll have a recording that they can send to like admin or any judge. Like, hey, I recorded duel. I can send you a copy of the video, and you can check to see that I didn't cheat when there was the glitch or error or issue with the webcam. So something like that, and you get it. So this will be something. It could be in a separate room. It could be off to the side, like to the walls, and then have the rest of the tournament. Obviously these fold out tables and stuff like that, and have everybody else be able to play physically. But whenever they have to play somebody that's not physically there, then they go to the computers, right, and then play somebody through webcam. So that way, this is a way you can have multiple locations be part of a tournament, right, part of an event. And this is a way you can get a lot of people to play. This will make the whole staffing, especially when it comes to judging and stuff like that, be easier when you already have people in these different locations that can already judge these locations. Especially with some of these locations being smaller in certain regards, it'd be easier to keep an eye on everybody when it's not a big giant venue. You have smaller venues, connected through technology, right? As for a big event, it'll be easier that way, right? So just some ideas. That way you don't have to try to fly judges out to certain locations. You know what I mean? So you get the idea, is like the ability to connect different locations together in a network, a dueling network, right? Connect them so that way we can be able to play, just go from our local areas. That's part of my idea of like, I was like, man, I wish there was a place that I call Tournament Center. There's a dedicated location that is designed specifically to host tournaments, where the staff will be there for judging, for running the events, among other things, setting up the tables and all that stuff, and like that way makes it easier to host tournaments, because you already have people whose job is literally to host tournaments, and they already have the equipment, and it's just they cater to tournaments, specifically card game related tournaments. So that's why stuff like webcam dueling be useful. If they ever do like a web client thing, that'd be interesting. If they want to do untapped type of play or something like that, that'd be interesting. Would be cool, just like it'd be nice to incorporate that. Plus, this helps card shops evolve, because that's the thing. Card shops have been evolved for a long time, right? The most they did was at first they started off just selling the cards, and then people just go home and play with their friends at the dinner table. But then they decided, like, oh, we need a place where people can come and play that isn't as somebody's somebody's house, so a more of a safe space, a gathering place, right? So then card shops are having tables, start putting out tables so people can come and play and buy products and create a community that way. It's just smart because it definitely brings in customers. But now it's like it has to evolve even further. Notice they haven't been involved in that much, So to keep these card shops alive, it would be a good idea that they try to host more events, right? They can be part of events, especially obviously official sanctioned events, where they can be like, oh yeah, we can help host players who live in our area that wants to enter an event. They can enter the event through us, because we're a partner of the event organizers, however way that works out, right? TO and stuff, and we can, we have the ability for people to be able to webcam duels, understand third, and be able to play that way. So that was one of the main ideas that I have, where I was talking about having people in different locations, having different locations, host or be part of a specific event, except one specific event. Because I notice a lot of dual tournaments, especially for Dragon Ball Super, tends to happen mainly in Florida, which is that's nice for people who live in Florida, but people further up north, that's unfortunate. See, for us, New York would have been the location to go play events, but it's not like when there is a Florida event, there's also a New York event. So it's just a matter of choosing which one you go to, and then the idea that they're pretty much the same thing, they're just in different locations. Usually the events are different. You know what I mean? Let's say there was a New York event. Let's say the prizing is a booster box or a case of booster box or whatever, right? But then in Florida, it's a 2K event, so there's money involved. It's like, okay, you prefer to go to the 2K event, but the 2K event is far from your location. You're closer to the New York event than you are the 2K event, which sucks that you can't choose, right? Your choices are limited. You want to go to the 2K event, but in order to do so, it will cost you pretty penny in order to even try to go there. And then there's the just trying to set it up to go there, when it'd probably be way easier for you to go to the New York event. So it'd be better if both events were pretty much equal in, at least in pricing, right? Pricing as well as in capacity of how many people can enter and whatnot. But that's why it'd be cool if the events were connected. Where it's just one big event, but hosted in multiple locations, so that way there's the more people can enter a specific event because they're because of the ability to connect from long distance, as opposed to you literally got to come all together to one specific location on the planet in order to play a card game, right? The fact that we have webcam dueling is something we should definitely be incorporating into these card shops and whatnot, to these locations, especially convention centers should definitely try to consider that idea of being able to have computers that can be used for webcam duels and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool. So that way they can supply that ability. So that'd be kind of cool. Just an idea. Obviously, you could have a separate room for people playing their opponents through webcam. That way they could be a little bit separate from the that'd probably be a good idea. Separate from the main group of players, because the main group of players, that area might be a little bit loud, so it'd be kind of hard to do the webcam stuff. I'm just thinking about that now. They might want a much wider location where they could have their matches, so that way there'd be less outside noise. Maybe even have padding to kind of make the room a little bit more soundproof from out. So that way there's no overlapping voices and stuff like that. Of course, you have headphones and mic to try to communicate with your opponent, so that way it's just you and your opponent can hear each other play, as opposed to everyone around you hearing play. At least there won't be a lot of, should be less. But you get my idea. Hopefully this idea, I explained it well enough. The idea is simple, and it'd be nice to see this, because I definitely like the idea just to be able to go to like any, card shop in my location and be able to play in an event, as opposed to traveling far distance just to be part of an event, just to be part of the tournament. Because let me put it this way: business-wise, the idea is to make money. That's the whole point of these tournaments, is to make money. And if you can make money, because here's the thing, I'll pay more. Like, let's say the entry fee for an event to physically be at the event is $30 to get into the main event. Let's call it like the host event, right? The hosting event, right? $30 to get in there. But if you're competing outside of that, in a partner event, I'll call it, then you pay extra. I don't know. Maybe you pay 40 instead. I mean, maybe we can exaggerate and be like 60, right? Maybe you pay double because you're not paying, more to travel, right? So you can pay more just so you can guarantee you can get into the event, and because of the partner hosting, partner system, they gotta make their profit. Then the main hosts of the event, they need to make their profit, so probably would be double, 30 for the main event, right? And then the host event, and then the partner event, $30 for them. So that way they make their money. And this is just a way of getting more players to be able to play, to be able to compete and whatnot, which is always good for the competitive scene. But then, of course, for businesses, money be made. Because I wouldn't mind if I own a big enough space to host, to be a partner for an event where I could just have people come, be able to play, see with people in front of them or through webcam. Make some money that way, right? As a businessman. But, but this also helps the gaming community. And, I'm always thinking of trying to come up with ways to help out the card game community. But also, I think about the business side, because if I'm thinking of like, oh, card shop should help, host these events. Well, they got to make money from it. You can't just tell them, hey, do this just to do it, just because players will like it. No, it got to be profitable. So I got to make sure that the businesses benefit as well as the players. So it's a win-win situation type thing. And that's the end of my idea for now.